Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot with your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for anyone that is new here, welcome. This is a reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. We do things completely differently here on this channel. Please keep that in mind moving forward. However, if the messages should happen to resonate with you, it would truly mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, please check out the description box. It will have everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join on as a member here on the channel. Awesome. So today we are doing what your boss hears and thinks about you. We're going to be using the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck by Kim Kranz. I felt like this was a pretty good deck to bring in with this reading to find out the archetype that you're standing in when it comes to work and what's going on. So with that, let's go ahead and get this out of the way, and we'll get your prayers started, and we will get this reading underway for you. All right. My beloved source, this prayer is for any and all who come onto this reading, whether it's for a moment's time or for the entire time. I ask that you bring forth clarity and remind them that no matter what their boss thinks or hears about them, at the end of the day, their work ethic and how they choose to show up is based on them, solely on them. And that even if there's not appreciative energy of it right now, that somewhere along the way it will be appreciated. And as long as that my fellow humans are appreciating what it is that they're doing, there's no stopping them. They can accomplish whatever it is that they put their minds to. They can become whomever it is that they wish to become, and they can express and find success in ways that maybe they didn't know were possible. So today I ask that you help everyone here embody, embrace, and express their inner strengths in the way that best align them with their highest and ultimate good. As these words are spoken onto this reading and upon this tribe, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Ase. Thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. So let me go ahead and get that set up over here. Okay, so these are a little awkward for me to shuffle, but I'm going to do my best. I have small hands, and so I always love when I can see tarot readers who can hold the cards the long way. I cannot. I have to hold them on the short side, and so round cards are hard for me to shuffle, especially when they're rather large. All right, so source. What archetype oracle cards will help us better understand what my fellow humans bosses hear and think about them? What do my fellow wow, let me try that again. What do my fellow humans bosses think and hear about them? What do they hear and think about my fellow humans, source? What would you like to share with us today? What do they hear and think about my fellow humans? Okay, thank you. What do they hear and think about my fellow humans, source? Alright. So for pile number 1, source, what archetype oracle card is going to help us better understand what pile number 1's boss thinks or hears and thinks about pile number 1? Okay, that one right there. Thank you. Source for pile number 2. What archetype oracle card is going to help us better understand what pile number 2's boss hears and thinks about them? Just pile number 2's boss hear and think about them. Okay, it's that one there. Thank you. And for pile number 3, source, what archetype oracle card is going to help us better understand what pile number 3's boss hears and thinks about pile number 3? Okay, wow. Yeah, it's that one. I had to take off my ring. Alright. On the bottom of the deck for the collective message, we have the Pilgrim. New beginnings. So this really feels like that you are a fresh, wild, unexplored frontier. That they can trust you and that you see things that they don't. Like, you bring a fresh set of eyes to the situation. And sometimes, while your ideas might not be very clear, like, you do the best to show that they are possible, even if it takes a long time to get to the outcome that you're looking for or to get to the results that they're looking for. You're willing to put in that work. It's an interesting message. So let's see what this says from the book. It says the wanderer, the traveler, and the apprentice. Yeah, your fresh set of eyes. Even in the stillness of meditation, the pilgrim feels the movement of the heart towards what it loves. Just a second, guys. Okay. So it says for the pilgrim, an outward journey is always an inward journey. This archetypal wanderer seeks wisdom, experience, and meaning in the furthest reaches of the globe and in the deepest regions of the spirit. Others will wonder when the pilgrim will settle down and claim a more conventional life, but the pilgrim knows that the heart belongs in motion. Where there is motion, there's freedom, expansion, and growth. Responsibility, social conventions, and logistics lull us to sleep, and soon the pilgrim becomes veiled in the slumber of the day-to-day. Yet when this archetype awakens, it rallies our sense of adventure and leads us out the door to a new reality. With the pilgrim at your side, you will never lack courage, nor do you need every amenity. Travel light, travel soon, your spirit needs it. It says, we all have a deep longing to answer the call to get unstuck. What are the obstacles between you and the door? And when in light, it's learning, growing, adapting, and studying. When dark, it's aloof, non-committal, and flaky. To go deeper, check out The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost and Mameen by David White. Yeah, you're very, like, think about that, right? What I was saying, like, you see everything with fresh set of eyes, this experience of wonder, and if not someone who sees through the eyes of a child is the pilgrim, one who never settles down, who is always on an adventure. All of life is this grand adventure for you, including the workplace. It's like you really love what you're doing, and even if you don't, you just have this sense of bringing a new mind to things, and that's something that a lot of the collective overall energy, a lot of your bosses are very considerate of and happy with and are very pleased with. Alright, so that's what we have today. Let's get this out of the way. Alright, so I did go ahead and choose the 10th house for all the dice today, just because we're talking about work, and I felt like that was fitting. Okay, so for pile number 1, we do have this dice with the 10th house on it. it's 10:10 on the clock. That's awesome. And then we have this natural piece of jade. I'm sorry, this is natural jasper. For pile number 2, we have this dice with the 10th house on it. We have this yellow jasper for you to choose from. For pile number 3, we have this dice with the 10th house on it. We have this yellow citrine for you to choose from. Okay, so we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Whichever pile you feel drawn to, that should be the pile for you. With that, I will see you on over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 10th house on it, if you were drawn to this natural jasper, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your reading on what your boss hears and thinks about you. First, I want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of the journey with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for anyone that might be new here, welcome. This is a reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And we do things completely differently here on this channel. So with that in mind, if the messages happen to resonate with you along the way, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need below. With that, we are going to go ahead and hop to it. I do want to use the dice today to get an overall energy of where you're at. And then we'll use the tarot to find out what your boss hears and thinks about you, okay? So, Source, for pile number 1, what is their energy at when it comes to their workplace, their career, their business, what it is that they put all their time, energy, and effort into? What is pile number 1's energy right now, Source? Okay, interesting. Yeah, so we've got Jupiter, the 12th house, and Virgo energy. Definitely listening a lot to your intuition, trusting what your intuition is telling you. Also, there's been a lot of downloads recently, and I feel like very creative downloads that are coming that are helping you feel a little bit more adventurous in the way that you approach your work, the way that you approach your job. And this is maybe helping you to express a lot more unique ideas. There is this sense of overcoming shame, or overcoming even just feeling like I don't have a right to stand out, right? So maybe before there was this fear of like, I can't share what it is that I feel like is going to help us succeed better, or to be more efficient, or to be very clear in the way that we're moving forward, because no one else has listened to it before, so why would anybody here listen to it? But I do sense and feel that there's been a lot of healing around your self-worth recently. And through that, it's been very methodical. There's been a lot of methodical steps that you've taken, and you've been very, very patient in moving forward. And that direction has helped you become more aware of the fact that you do produce really good work. And it feels really new, right? It feels really new being so adventurous and being so open and being in a space where you can allow your unique self to shine through. It feels almost like you're wet behind the ears. Is that the expression that I think that's it, because I just heard it. It was really loud. Like you're feeling wet behind the ears. Like it's just like a new beginning, and you haven't had much experience expressing yourself in this way, but you do feel a sense of excitement and that there's potential for a lot of growth here. So your energy right now is very excited, but there are still very cautious steps that you're taking moving forward, and with reason, right? You don't want to just throw yourself out there. But it's one of those things like, let me give them one idea, and when that works, then they'll come to me with more ideas, and then we can go from there. And that's where it feels like your energy is at right now, especially with this combination of the dice. So let's get these out of the way and we'll get into it. So I'm going to be using the Tarot Marseille and the Osho Zen Tarot. Today we're going to be asking first, what does your boss hear about you? So source, what does pile number one's boss hear about them at work? What does pile number one's boss hear about pile one at work? Source, would you like to share with us? What does pile number one's boss hear about them at work? Okay, thank you. What does pile number one's boss hear about them at work? You're trying to build steady alliances at work. That's something that's coming through. But let's see what comes out. What does pile number one's boss hear about them at work? Oh, okay, thank you. What does pile number one's boss hear about them at work? Source. Thank you. Cards flying in. What does pile number one's boss hear about them at work? Source. Whoa. Thank you. Okay, on the bottom of the deck, we've got the Emperor in the reverse. Okay, interesting. Now, I'm just going to say before we get into this, all right, there might be some triggering things that come up. And remember, what somebody is hearing about you is not the truth about who you are, right? Hearsay is always hearsay. It's never direct from the source. So you have to take that with a grain of salt. And I just want to point that out moving in here. We have the Emperor in the reverse. And that's the overall energy, is that you're a little bit forceful. Okay? Remember what I said. This does not make it true, but this is what they're hearing. It's like you're trying to build alliances. I was getting that while I was shuffling. You're trying to build alliances with people, and maybe people are feeling like you're doing it in a very persistent way or very forceful way. You know, the Emperor in the reverse talks about narcissism, it talks about brutality, it talks about very malicious energy. Yeah, so this is there's people here who are saying, and I feel like this is a projection, okay? I feel like this is a projection of where these people are on their own journey. So again, don't take it so personally here. But I feel like that your boss is hearing that you're not emotionally stable enough to build partnerships or to have a leadership role. That there's more that you have to learn. There's more that you have to do for yourself, or that it's better for you to be at the bottom of the totem pole. But let's see. That's, again, the overall energy here. Perspective. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I see exactly what's happening here. So it's kind of like split. There's like this split energy here where they're saying like, oh, you have this really unique perspective. you're very secure in yourself. You're very stable in yourself. You might be in Aries or have Aries in Neptune or Neptune in Aries. Yeah. Or Neptune in Gemini. That's interesting. That's coming through. But there's like the split energy where there's some people who are saying like you're very clear, you know what you want, you're very comfortable with who you are, you're very good at setting these boundaries, you're very good at making sure that people are aware of paths moving forward or the options that are available at work or the way to, if it's commission, I don't know why this is coming through, but commission based, that there are ways to make better commissions at work. Right? And so you're always giving them ideas. You're the idea instigator here. And I feel like there's an overwhelm. You have so many ideas and you're constant, and especially if you have Aries highly aspect in your chart, that would make a lot of sense. If you have any fire highly aspect in your chart, that would make a lot of sense. And even if not, that's okay. But really there's this like idea generator where you're like, oh, we could do this. Let's try this. Or I've tried this and it's really worked well for me. And then with the Ten of Swords here in the reverse, it's like there's people who are saying they're completely exhausted. They're tired of all the ideas that you have. They're tired of you giving them help. They're tired of this. And so your boss is hearing this. They're hearing like, oh, here comes pile one. They've given me so many ideas. Like, I just can't. And again, I feel like this is a projection, right? They're taking it as you being really forceful or aggressive or abrasive. And they're telling your boss this, like that pile one is abrasive, they're aggressive, they're exhausting, they won't stop giving me ideas, they have this really different perspective than everyone else, and yeah, while they're very clear about that, like I just don't want to hear their ideas anymore. They're very tired of that. And if your boss hasn't come and talked to you about it, then, you know, we'll definitely get more into that. I feel like that's just kind of one of those things where your boss realizes this is someone who's complaining, and so they're not worried about it. And it's also something not worth bringing up to you because there's no reason to make you worry about it either, right? And sometimes that's really hard. That's a really difficult situation for us. But remember, the boss hears everybody's complaints. They hear all their excitements and all that stuff. And usually the boss hears mostly the complaints. But I do feel like there's a lot of split energy. Like you have some people who are really glad for the ideas that you have given. But then you have people who are equally jealous and mad because they want to be in your position or they want to have the experience that you have. And so they're feeling like I have to protect myself and make it seem like pile number one is being really shady and overbearing and just completely disconnected from everyone and not taking how I feel into consideration. And for you, I feel like it's more about a team effort and let's do this together, right? You're sharing your ideas. Who better to share your ideas with than like coworkers who it's like, well, if it worked for me, let me see if it works for other coworkers. And you feeling like these are people you can trust, or like if it's a team that you're on, so you're sharing those with them, right? Or you shared it with your boss. Your boss is like, oh, hey, pile one shared us these ideas. Let's go ahead and implement this for a while. And so it could be the boss coming in and implementing your ideas. And that's why people are jealous. They feel like, oh my gosh, pile one is getting special treatment. I'm tired of pile one getting special treatment. It's not fair. But what is fair, right? This is faith in your abilities, faith in yourself, faith in your connections and your experience. And you deserve to be seen for what that is. All right. Let me light another candle here. I didn't know how long that one was going to last, but it looked like it had a good bit left. Sometimes, though, if you relight them later, they don't burn as well. That's the thing, yeah. It's just, it's almost like they're coming in thinking that they're going to have, like, if they keep complaining, they're going to get further and further along with the boss, but I don't feel like I feel like the boss is just in this place where it's like, this is just you complaining for the sake of complaining. So this is what they're hearing. Let's use the Osho Zen today to see what your boss thinks about you, okay? Yeah, your boss definitely does feel like you go against the grain, but not in a bad way. Because you understand that there are more effective ways to conduct business or to go about your job, right? And it doesn't matter what kind of a job you have or what kind of a career you're in. You've just been able to observe the situation and integrate lessons from your own life and your own experience. And that's given you a good idea of how to move forward. So how does pile number one boss think of pile number one? How does pile number one's boss think of them? Yeah. My nose is going crazy. Oh my gosh, okay. We have the Innocence card coming out, the sun. Yeah, like you're very wise. You're this bright energy in the workplace. Generally, you're very happy or smiling or just a peaceful energy. You don't have to be super exuberant or anything like that. It could be just a very peaceful energy. But with this man here, you get this sense of someone who's very wise, but still in touch with their inner child. So you might goof around with some of your coworkers or people that you know really well there, right? Or you might tease people or joke with people, or maybe you try to create games or competition, friendly competition, right? It's like, let's make it as interesting as possible. We're going to be here all day. We might as well enjoy ourselves the best way that we can. So I feel like your boss thinks that about you. Like, you're very innocent, but you're also really wise, and you bring a sense of joy and light to work. What does pile number one's boss think of them? Okay. What does pile number one's boss think of them, Source? Thank you. On the bottom. Yeah, look, we have the Magician, existence. With this energy too, like, you're very vulnerable, but you're incredibly lucky, right? You are lucky because you have this wisdom and you have this ability to observe what's going on around you and just know what that means for you. And you have this energy about you that's very, you're not afraid to spend time mastering projects or mastering a skill. And you have a lot of resources available to you that you bring. That's your experience, right? Your experience. You have a lot of resources that you bring to the table. So I do feel like there's a deep appreciation here from your boss because of your experience and because of your wisdom. But also because you're not just someone who's like, I'm just this know-it-all and you better respect me, like they might be hearing, right? I do feel like your boss is a lot smarter than just to listen to hearsay, right? And some people aren't, but I do feel like they are. Yeah, you have this very balanced energy about you. And so your boss feels like you're very balanced, you're very connected to yourself, you're bringing also a sense of emotional leadership to the workplace. So it's like you're not letting your emotions get the best of you, which we see, right? Someone's letting their emotions get the best of them. This could even be a group of people, and you might even know who they are. If you're asking who they are, that might not resonate with you, or that might not be for you, but I do feel like there's this energy where your boss is thinking that, you know, pile number one, they're very clear about who they are. They're very well connected with what it is that they want to bring forth and the amount of work that they want to get done every day. And you're very connected to your heart. I feel like you're very kind and compassionate energy, that you bring a sense of joy, right? And dolphins represent happiness as well. So you bring a sense of joy. I feel like your boss might even joke around with you as well. Like, that's always exciting and lucky, right? Yeah, receptivity with the Queen of Cups here. Yeah, you're very compassionate. There's a lot of blue here with this energy, right? A lot of blue coming out. You're very clear and speaking your truth with the Empress underneath that with creativity, right? A lot of positive energy. Yeah, there's a lot of positive energy. And then ripeness here with the Nine of Coins, very abundant and very, like, very in touch with the inner feminine energy as well. You could have very benefic Venusian placements in your chart, Venus placements, right? Or you could have a lot of Taurus and Libra in your chart as well. But you're very fair, and you're willing to spread love wherever you go. I feel like you're constantly learning more about yourself, and that's opening you up to filling your own cup. And you give that to your coworkers, and you bring that to your boss as well. It's like, it's not about you being above me or below me. We're all on this, in this realm together. Also, some of you, this just came in too, some of you might work in healthcare, like being a nurse or a doctor, or even like mental health is coming in as well. So something to do with the health field. And that could be anything: physical therapist, that could be a pharmacist, that could be a nurse, that could be a doctor, that could be a receptionist, you know, whatever it is. But that's coming through really strongly here. And just being able to help others see, when you're working with patients, or even when you're working with clients or customers, that you can bring a sense of calm, kind, receptive energy to them. And overall, I feel like your boss thinks that you help make their job a lot easier. Right? You bring a lot of fun and creativity to the workplace, but you also make their job easier by helping out your coworkers to the best of your ability. And even though there's always going to be somebody who's a hater, that's just life, right? So there's somebody who's hating here. Like, your boss isn't taking that person seriously. I don't feel like you're the first person that they've complained about. This is someone who's just a Karen or a Kevin, okay? And if that's your name, please don't take that personally. That's just all I know, that we have that energy, right? That's a cliche, and it's cliche for a reason. So let's see. Yeah, let's get some oracle on it. I do feel like your boss really is excited to have you there, though, and is excited to see how far you'll go. Or this is something that you're willing to be long term for. And if it's not, they're just happy that you're there for the time that you're there for. Yeah, look, we've got servant. Interesting. Right? Delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. Yeah, this is exactly what I was saying. Your boss really thinks you're just this kind, compassionate person. You're willing to be very attentive to people. So you could also work in a restaurant, be a server, waiter, waitress. You know, there's just a lot of this energy where it's like you're helping others. Like, you're giving them a warm bowl of soup. Right? And then we have the shadow as using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. And I feel like for this, it's the shadow aspect for whoever it is that's saying these things about you. They're actually using a lack of experience not to move forward with their life, and thinking that that's going to get them what they want. But it's not. So let's see what else comes through here. If you hear me pause, it's not because I'm distracted or not paying attention to your reading. I'm actually keeping an eye on my dog. She's been sick all morning, and so I'm just making sure she's okay. We've got the 12th house here. Spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial service, and healing. So service, again, you work in some sort of service industry, and the 12th house is connected to medical industry and healthcare and health well-being. And so that could be something. Again, it's just coming in really strongly with the 12th house to come back out again in the cards. That's just another confirmation. But there's that healing. You bring a healing energy to the people around you. And so what you do might be incredibly difficult. It might be very hard. And there might be a lot of taxing energy that comes from that. And you bring a sense of healing and love to the position for your coworkers. Look at this. New life. Yeah, you bring in that new life. You may get a fresh start or be called to bring new perspective to your old job. You may also get a tempting job offer or a new place. Yeah, so you bring a fresh perspective. Okay, fresh eyes, fresh ideas, fresh love, fresh grace, like all these things. It's just very fresh. You're very fresh energy into the office. But I don't feel like you're brand new. You could be brand new. But I feel like for many of you, you've had this job for quite a while, and this is just that energy that you bring. And it helps everybody perform better. And I feel like your bosses notice when you're around that everybody does better. And that is something they appreciate. Yeah, flexibility. You'll need to see in the dark to maneuver the coming changes. While it seems extreme, just hang in there. This too shall pass. Well, I didn't even know this was on the bottom of the deck, but that confirms what I was saying about what you do may be very strenuous. It may be there's a lot of taxing energy, or there's just a lot going on, especially if you work in healthcare. You know, kudos to you guys, because it's not something I could ever do. I just don't have a stomach for it. But for those of you that work in the healthcare industry, just thank you, because we need you guys. And whatever it is that you do, you know, we need you in that position. Oh, I heard firefighter and EMT come through as well. So, okay. We've got regret on the bottom. I know that I cannot change the past. And I feel like this goes back to what I was saying here. It's like it's that new energy where you're starting to share your ideas. I feel like a part of you regrets not doing that in the past. And you know that you can't change that, but that you can always bring forth that energy now and choose to make that change now. Inner connection. Listen to your inner voice in decision-making and daily interactions. Trust your intuition. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said that too. You're very intuitive. Getting intuitive guidance to move forward. And furry charm. Their innocent spirit shield you from misfortune. Draw them near. Luck clings to their fur. And I feel like that's just saying, like, you're just this very pleasant energy to have around the office, or the workspace, or wherever it is that you guys work, outside or inside, in an office, in a building, you know. I don't know, there's all kinds of work out there. Yeah, we have loss. A major phase in your life is ending. Embrace newness. So again, confirming new life, newness, this new energy. Didn't I say that wet behind the ears? Yeah. Let go of what was so you can focus your energy on what is ahead. The grief of loss continues to be an obstacle in your life. So not letting what happened in past situations get you down, because this is a brand new opportunity for you to be yourself, and you deserve to be seen as yourself. And I feel like that's what everybody appreciates the most, including your boss. We have the dilettante. With delights in the arts without having to be a professional. Alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. And look at all these things that she's doing. Like, you have so many talents, you have so many gifts, you have so many skills that you offer. And the shadow is pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. But I feel like this goes back to that energy where it's like you have so much to offer, and your boss is just really appreciative of that. And I actually feel like a lot of your coworkers are too. There's just one or two energies here that it wouldn't matter if it was you or someone else. They're going to be hating, right? Yeah, so look, didn't I say you take methodical steps at the beginning? What? We have ambition, realism, and methodical steps. What a confirmation. Thank you, Source. So, a very hard worker. Fear. I realize I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. So you're letting go of fear, you're letting go of regret, and that's allowing you to shine even deeper in your position and come into the space of abundance. I'm a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire in the physical reality. Oh, I love that. Setbacks. Taking one step forward to make two steps back. Setbacks are telling you that you're not ready to enter the next phase. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Yeah, so you've learned from a lot of setbacks in your life, a lot of loss too, right? For both the money come from cards to be semi low vibrational, right? Not necessarily negative, but just about life, right? Like, life happens, and I feel like you've learned so much from life and the things that life has brought, and that's the experience that you bring to your overall work. And so your boss does definitely think that helps a lot, and that you keep everybody grounded, but you keep everybody grounded in love and in grace. So let's take a look at your archetype card and see what this says here. The eternal child. I can't with you. You bring a sense of play and fun and pleasure to the workplace. Like, people really notice your inner child. Your boss is noticing your inner child. Your coworkers are noticing your inner child. You've done a ton of healing. A ton of healing. I love this. This is the inner child, the child of joy. We got that with the Sun card. The archetype is so spirited that when its appetite for life isn't satiated, it seeks spirit and substance elsewhere. The eternal child struggles with addictions of all varieties, and that could be something with the setbacks as well, right? Maybe you've learned from addictions, and that doesn't have to be, sex, drugs, or alcohol. It could be anything, right? Addictions can be anything. It says celebrity culture is based heavily on this archetype, as it is the phrase live hard, die young, and the series of artists and musicians who died at 27. It says the eternal child is connected to the timeless, ageless, and infinite aspects of life. It is radiant and fearless and seeks joy above all else and at any cost. It struggles being bound to an aging body with physical limitations in a world that demands attention to detail and logistics. The eternal child wants to nix all rules and responsibilities and go beyond what others say is possible. It wants to return with plenty of friends to the land of the free, where divine wine and creativity pour from the earth and sky. We all want to sip from the well of eternal youth, and this makes the eternal child naturally popular, perhaps even famous. The eternal child glimmers, and it reminds us of what is possible, what is magical about this precious life. When in light, you're joyful, playful, and accept all, and magical. When dark, addicted, selfish, adrift, burns out. To go deeper, check out Icarus, Peter Pan, or Rumi's Has Anybody Seen the Boy? Yeah, so I do feel like you're just this bright light, and your boss definitely is grateful that you're there. You bring a lot of emotional stability into the workplace, and you also help bring a sense of fun. So I was saying, like, if maybe you work in the healthcare industry, that can be up and down and all over the place. And you're just a consistent vibe and energy. And that's something that your boss is so grateful for in the workplace. So, yeah, you have such a beautiful energy. And I'm really glad that you're learning to express more of that along your journey as well. But this is what I see here for you, pile number 1. If you felt like this was your reading, leave the little, like this new life energy here, that little emoji that's the little plant growing out of the dirt. Say, I bring a sense of, what do I want to say here? I didn't know what I wanted to say. I just lost my thought. I bring a sense of new, fresh energy and ideas to the workplace so that everybody can have fun and we can all align with our highest good. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. With that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this incredible message. And until next time, pile number 1, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 10th house on it, or if you were drawn to this yellow jasper, or if you were drawn to this archetype oracle card during the shuffle, then this is going to be a reading on what your boss hears and thinks about you. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of the journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. We do things completely differently here on this channel, so with that in mind, if the messages happen to resonate with you moving forward, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. with that, let's go ahead and hop to it. I am going to get your energy with the dice today, and then we'll find out more about the reading with the tarot, okay? So, Source, where is pile number 2's energy at when it comes to their work? What is their overall energy right now when it comes to their work, Source? What would you like to share with us today? Okay, interesting. So we have the 5th house. We have Capricorn energy. And we have the moon. You know, there's an interesting, it's kind of like conflicting energies coming here. It's just like, well, I want to do my best, but I don't really get paid enough to care about it. So you're wanting to lead, but it's also just too much of a hassle to lead here. And that's what I'm saying. It's like a very conflicting energy. I mean, you want to do good and you want to be seen for doing good, but there's also this energy where it's just like, whatever, like I'll do what's asked of me and maybe not much more. And the 5th house, you know, the 5th house is connected with Leo energy, and Leo is all about shining and being seen, and that's what I'm saying, like there's this want to be seen. But then you have the 4th house, which is connected with Cancerian energy, which is all about home. And it's like, I just don't want to leave the safety of what I'm comfortable with or, you know, overgive. And Capricorn is like the workhorse of the zodiac. And so it's just this weird conflict here. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm not 100% sure on this, don't quote me on this, but I do believe that the moon in Capricorn is in its detriment. I believe that's in its detriment, which means that it is in completely different energy than it knows how to work with. Right? So there's a want to be there, but there's also a want to not necessarily be in this position, where you want something that's better, or you want something that's a little bit maybe more lackadaisical that's coming through here. But you work hard, and you want to work hard because it's your work ethic coming through. And it's just like, well, how much do I give though? Because I feel like you've given so much of yourself in the past and it hasn't been rewarded and it hasn't been acknowledged or recognized, and that's rough, right? When you give so much of yourself to a position and they don't appreciate you, it's like, how much more can I give? And with this energy, it's like, I want to be in a better position, but is there really room to move up? So it wouldn't surprise me if you consider your job or where you work at kind of a dead-end job, or like there's nowhere to grow, but that it could be a stepping stone for you. It could be a just for now position until you get something better. So there's a lot of, but it's just very conflicting. Like I'm very back and forth right now. I feel very, okay, like I want to work hard, but I don't want to work hard. I want to put forth my best foot, but I don't want to put forth my best foot. And so maybe you're split as a collective down the middle. Okay, and take it as it resonates, right? Own your energy, right? This is not about us filling our ego. This is about us owning where we're at. That's where true accountability comes from, is saying like, oh my gosh, this is my energy and I'm going to own that. And I'm going to be okay with owning that, right? Let's get some more out on it, because I just feel like you're kind of blasé about work right now. It's like, you know, like I go because I go, but it's not like your dream job. Maybe it was just a temporary job and it turned into a more permanent position. So it could be anything like that. All right, let's see what your boss hears about you. Let's go there. And again, I do feel like you're a very hard worker. I feel like, especially if you really care about the job, you're going to put forth 1,000%. But I don't feel like you really care about this position too much. It's just kind of like, meh. Alright, Source. What does pile number 2's boss hear about them? What does pile number 2's boss hear about them? Okay, thank you. What does pile number 2's boss hear about them? What does pile number 2's boss hear about them, Source? Yeah, I don't know. I feel feel like you run under the radar most times. You know, leave it up to everyone else to sit in the spotlight. Which might really be against you as well, right? Because the 5th house coming through is a natural leader. The sun is a natural leader. Leo's a natural leader. Like, they just live in that energy. They naturally gravitate towards being the center of attention, and not necessarily in a bad way. That's just that's what they're destined to do. That's Leo energy for you, right? But I feel like you naturally want to be seen as doing a good job. But there's just this energy of like, no, I'd just rather roll under the radar here. It's just easier for me to be under the radar. Yeah, the moon coming out on the bottom of the deck. This is interesting because it's this feeling of like people are maybe your boss has asked about you, or people are just saying like, you know, like, we don't really know too much about pile number 2. They don't share a lot with us. It's a lot, very mysterious, very secretive, and you're reserved. Yeah, yeah, that's basically what's coming through. Is like you're very reserved. Like, even your coworkers don't think that you're really standing out. Let's see what else is coming through here. Yeah, we have the 10 of Wands in the upright. Okay, the 9 of Swords in the reverse, and the 3 of Wands in the reverse. Interesting. So there's this interesting energy where it's like someone here that you might be close with at work. This is someone who maybe you both have been through a lot with this boss, or together you've moved different positions together, or you moved teams together, or you always end up working in a pair together. Okay? So this is the only person that knows anything about you. Most everyone else, they don't really know much or have much to say. But here's the thing. I feel like there's this person that you're really close to. Not that they're really a friend. It's more like an acquaintance. But this person is manipulative. And this is more than what your boss hears. It's almost like they hear things from this person about how, oh, you know, if you as a team together mess something up, you know, you're willing to take accountability for it. Or you're also in that energy of just wait until someone mentions it, but no one ever mentions it. And you're like, oh, okay, so I guess it wasn't that big of a deal to begin with. And it's because this partner that you have at work is always saying that it's your fault. That you're the one that doesn't understand the job, or you're the one that messes up. Wow, this is next level energy. Your boss hears that, but I feel like your boss doesn't really know who you are. But I also feel like they're not just ready to blame you for everything either. You know, they see you as, okay, I sent you both on a team effort here, so it's a team effort. Why would you be blaming just the other person? And they might be waiting for you to come forth and say something like, oh, hey, you know, I messed this up, or when we were working on this together, this happened while we were doing this together, and taking accountability, but you never do. And so it ends up just kind of teetering you off into nothing. But yeah, there's a person here that you work with a lot of the time that is very manipulative. They might make it seem like they're your friend. They might seem like, oh, they're really interested in you. They want to get to know you. They might really like working with you. And I feel like the reason they like working for you is because you say nothing for yourself. So it's easy for this person to use you as a scapegoat so that they never have to take the blame for anything. What? You may already know this too. I mean, with the moon coming out twice, it wouldn't surprise me if you already know this. And that might be why you're in this energy of like, wow, I just don't get paid enough to care about this. Like, if they're really going to let me go because they want to believe this person, then so be it. Then that means the job was never for me. And it's like, I feel like for you, this is just until you get to the next place. but your boss is hearing that it's all your fault, and it's from somebody who's very manipulative here. They're hearing how, you don't know how to do the job, or you don't know how to do the procedures, or you don't know how to do this. And again, I'm not telling you to make you mad. Like, that's not what this is. That's literally what the cards are saying. And I feel like there's this energy too, where even for you, it's like, yeah, I know this person is not who they say they are. Like, I know that they're trying to make themselves seem bigger and better. But I also feel like for you, it's like, there's nowhere to go in this job. So why make it that big of a deal in the first place, right? This is like a bottom end, low level job that you're working. This does not feel like you have a career, okay? Like, and please don't take that as me being like, how dare you not know? Like, we have workforce, right? Workforce is a real thing. Not everybody and their mom has a career. They just don't, right? People work for a living, and I feel like this just was a job that was meant to sustain you. And I feel like even going into this, you didn't feel like this was a permanent job. So it could be that you're a seasonal worker, right? Getting to the next season, or this is like a temporary position until you get something that is more permanent. That's really what this feels like. So please understand, like, I know what this type of work is. I've been down this road plenty of times in my life, whereas like this is a just for the time being job, and it really sucked, and you barely gave bare minimum. It didn't matter how experienced you were, because you knew if you gave 1,000%, it wasn't going to mean anything, right? And I feel like you also are aware that if you give 1,000%, that this other person is going to try and take credit for all of that. I mean, not to what end, really? There's not going to be a raise. There's not going to be a promotion. There's not going to be anything. But it's like this person just wants to be seen as, I never mess up. I never make a mistake. It's never my fault, right? They could be narcissistic. They don't have to be, but they do have definite narcissistic tendencies here. And again, I'm not here to diagnose anybody. That is not my job. Okay, that is not what these readings are for. So please don't take this as a diagnosis towards this person, and remembering that we live in the age of narcissism, and everybody has narcissistic tendencies now. But this does feel like someone is trying to make it seem like you're incompetent. And I do feel like your boss doesn't see it that way. Alright, let's see what else is coming through here. I just feel like you're trying to do the best that you can with the time that you have there. Alright, we're going to use the Osho Zen to see what your boss thinks about you. Pile number 2. So, Source, what does pile number 2's boss think about them? What does pile number 2's boss think about them? Okay, thank you. What does pile number 2's boss think about them? I do feel like they are thinking you're very detached from the job. But if you do what's in your job description, like, who am I to complain about that, right? Yeah. They feel like you're a very kind person. You maybe put up with too much, especially from other people. What does pile number 2's boss think of them? Like, I feel like they can come to you when they have a problem. Yeah. Inner voice. Yeah, they're just like you, very clear about what this position is. And even your boss, I feel like your boss is just very clear about what this position is, and knowing that there's really nothing to do or nowhere to go, right? It's like if you work in retail, and and there's nothing wrong with retail. I've worked in retail, customer service, collections, oh my gosh, you name it. I've probably done it, been a Jill of all trades, so I understand all of these. So when I bring them up, just know I am speaking because I know from experience. But it's like if you're working in retail and it's a mom and pop retail store, I mean, where are you going to go? They can't really afford to hire a manager, right? So you're literally just a sales clerk, and that's what you'll always be for them until if they ever get enough money to make you manager. But it's not going to be one of those things where you're going to climb up in the company, because there's nowhere to climb. That's what this really feels like. So you could be a Cancer as well. This is both Cancer energy here, but we have a lot, we have the moon, and we have Cancer energy with the moon again with the high priestess or the popess, and then you have Cancer energy with the Queen of Cups. So you could be a Cancer, your boss could be a Cancer as well, but it's just you're doing this for home life. Like, you're doing this so you have the ability to take care of certain bills. Maybe you're doing this to take care of your kids, or to give your kids a little extra money, or this is a part-time job where you have a full-time job, but this part-time job is the one that's coming up right now for whatever reason. And this is for you to give your kids a college fund or something like that. Like, what I'm sensing is there's this energy where it's you and your boss are very aware of what the position is, where this other person is trying to make it something that it never was going to be. Yeah, okay, so we have the Thunderbolt on the bottom, which is the House of God. There's just someone here who's very wanting it to be something that it's not, and your boss is aware of that. Like, I can't make it something that it's not, right? So I own what it is, okay? I own what it is. I see that you're a strong worker. I see that you're very clearly showing up and doing what I've asked you to do, but I'm not gonna sit here and try to let everything fall apart at the whim of this person, because you're a good worker. You're a consistent worker. You do exactly what I ask you to do. You're not over here trying to rock the boat, right? But there's someone here that's trying to rock the boat. Wow. Yeah. The 9 of Coins energy here, ripeness, right? You do exactly what is asked. And I feel that. Like, I feel like your boss may be waiting for you to come and talk about the situations that aren't going the way that they need to be, or the way that you wanted them, or the way that even the boss wanted to. But I feel like your boss is thinking about you. Like, there's nothing wrong with the way that you're working. You're doing everything that I've asked you to do. You are exactly what I needed, because you're not trying to make this position more than it is. That's what I keep feeling. Like, there's no way that this can be something else other than what it is. So take that as it is. Like, this would be like being Santa Claus for the weekend or for the months of November and December. This would be like doing a 2-month workshop or something like that, where you get money or you get paid for it, or whatever it is. That's what this feels like. It's just very temporary. This feels very temporary. It's a seasonal job. It's just for the summer, or it's just for the winter. This is a festival that's only open for a week or whatever, and I've done it every year. It doesn't matter what it is. It just feels very temporal, like temporary. And it feels like this other person, they want to be seen as something that they're not. And so there's someone here that's really trying to make you seem like you're this bad person. But I feel like the boss really does think you're exactly what the position needs. You're very clear about the emotional connection that belongs here, right? You don't need to be overly attached to it. I don't feel like you are overly attached to it, even though, with so much moon energy here, we could have this. You're very attached to the position. You're very connected to the position. You really love the position. Oh my gosh, if I lost the position, I'd be like this. But you're just happy doing exactly what is asked of you. That's why I kept getting that feeling at the beginning. There's this very back and forth energy. It's like, like I'll go in and I'll do what I want. I'm going to work hard, but I'm not going to overexert myself. And I feel like the person that's complaining is someone who tries to give 1,010% so that they can just get a good job at the end of the day, because that's enough to feed their ego, to make them feel better, to show up the next day. And when they don't get that, it's like they're just constantly trying to do something to get ahead, right? And they're still getting ahead here. It just feels like there's no. And please don't take that as like, oh my gosh, like, no, I get it. We have to have jobs like this in our life, because sometimes they're literally just so that we can pay for something, or it's literally just so that we can take care of a credit card debt that we incurred, or we need to pay for, a mortgage. So we're trying to work extra hours to get the money for our mortgage, or we're trying to get extra hours so that we can, make sure that we have gifts to give the kids on their birthdays or whatever it is, right? That's what this feels like. It just feels like something like that. This is I needed this because of insert situation here. It's not a long-term position. So what else would you like to tell pile number 2, source? The moon again. Oh my gosh. I can't. So maybe you're trying to buy a cruise here or something, you know? We've got the moon, satisfy emotional needs, nurture self and other. We've got the moon. The moon, the moon, the moon, the moon. I mean, the moon. Hello? Emotionally, and I feel like this is a thing, like, emotionally, you're very secure with this position. Like, you're very grounded emotionally in what to expect from it. And there are no surprises here. Yang. We have proactivity, expression, doing, and forward motion. Yeah, you know exactly what to do. We have Aries, Leo, Sag, and Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra energy here. You know exactly what to expect. Your boss knows exactly what to expect. Like, it doesn't need to be anything that it's not. Wow. What else, source? Whoa. How many cards is this? That's too many. Just one, please. No? Okay. Okay, there we go. There it is. Rebel. So we have challenges authority to affect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs, and the shadows rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. Yeah, so I feel like that's it. Do you see how she's just lounged about on this couch that she's built on this tree? This is that energy. It's very lackadaisical. It's just very chill. Like, you're not trying to make it something that it's not, right? And that is rebellious in a sense, right? I'm not trying to go to the next level here. I'm not trying to become something that I can't become. But some people don't always see it that way. Some people are just really hell-bent on being the best of the best of the best, even if it's a job that's not worth really spending that much time and energy on. When you're an adult and you get a high school position, oh, those of you that know what I'm talking about, you're going to know, right? You like get a part-time job, a summer job. That's what it is. So, and it could be like anything, but that's what this feels like. It's like a high school position. And why should I show up as anything other than I would have if I was in high school, right? I'll do the work. I'll do what I need to, but I don't need to exert myself. Brilliance. You'll discover your own genius by breaking away from the grind to follow your own inspiration, your ideas, bring recognition. And that's the thing. And I feel like the thing is that you show up and it's not so serious, but you take your work seriously, but it's not so serious. And your boss just really appreciates that. Like, you do everything that you're asked to do. And it's never like, I have to convince you to do it. I'm going to ask you to do this. And you're like, yeah, cool, it'll get done. And you go and you do it. Even if you have to work with this person, you make sure that it gets done. No matter how this person shows up, it's not worth it to go and complain about this person. You just are just like, look, we're going to do it because this is what it's going to do. Like, maybe you have to go and fold some clothes, or maybe you have to go and stock some shelves, or maybe you have to go and juice some lemons. I don't know, and and when you do that, like, your boss is just really happy. There's like a prep station or something here that you get finished and done, and it just helps things run smoothly. But also, I feel like your boss is not over here saying and demanding you to be someone else. Like, they don't want you to be someone who comes in like in a suit and a tie or in a business work suit and is like giving 1,000%, because that's not the type of job that this is, right? Yeah, self-esteem. You're very comfortable with who you are. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and other. And I feel like this self-esteem and this confidence that you have in regards to yourself, it brings a lot of ease to the position as well. So like, if you deal with clients or customers or whatever you deal with, whomever you deal with, it helps them. Like, you're willing to joke, you're willing to have a good time, you make it not seem so serious, and that just puts everybody at ease. We have the wisdom cube. Soon to face a choice, regard it solving a multifaceted cube. Explore from all angles to unveil the right path. Truth at a turn. Okay. And then we have venom of doubt. Interesting. You will encounter deceptive information that can poison your decision making. And we have the decision making right here, a choice, right? Seek truth, rely on verified sources. So I do feel like this is just that confirmation, like you know exactly what this position entails, and then this venom of doubt is this other person that's trying to make it seem like you don't know what's going on. And then we have wake up call on the bottom. Ambition fuels the search for rarity, yet reality may temper expectations, balancing dreams and practicality. Right? You're like the unicorn. And I feel like your boss is just hoping that one day this person will wake up to the reality of the situation. Like, this is never going to be more than what it is. And that's okay, right? There's just situations that exist like that, and they exist for a purpose. And that's okay, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? It doesn't mean that you're not chasing your dreams. It doesn't mean you're not doing what you're meant to be doing. Like, none of that is the truth. This is the situation right now, and that's exactly what you did for yourself because it was the best choice that you could make for yourself, whatever that is. You know, and that's perfect for what it needs to be. Work smart. Yeah, exactly. Are you making it harder than it has to be? Sometimes the solutions are simple. Yeah, so you're just working smarter, not harder. Like, there's no reason for me to put in 1,010% when I know what's expected, right? So stick to the basic needs when it comes to spending and put some money aside. So I'm getting this energy that this is about saving money, or this is about being able maybe to move to the next place or whatever it is. It just feels like this is temporary. It's a temporary solution for what's next for you. Child divine. We have innocence, purity, and redemption. Suggests a special connection with the divine. And the shadow is an inability to defend oneself against negative forces. Yeah, so I do feel like you're very aware that this person is saying things about you to your boss, and maybe your boss said something to you about it, but I feel like regardless, at the end of the day, you're not worried about it. You're just listening to your intuition and letting it guide you through this again, coming through very, very connected intuitively, and you realize there's just no reason to take it so serious. Indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of my life. Oh my goodness. Like, let's just be real. That's the thing, at the end of the day, no matter what's going on, like, you're very clear of what's happening in the situation with the position, with this person, with your boss, right? You just know. You're very intuitive, you're very clever, you're very wise. And at the end of the day, what's happening, it's not affecting you as a person, it's not affecting your productivity, and you use your intuition to just keep kind of sidestepping this person's venom and this doubt that they're trying to bring. Freedom. You need to have more flexibility with your schedule and income. Being self-employed is ideal. Time off will help you get clear. So again, I feel like this is to give you freedom. So maybe you're working here while you're building a business, or maybe you're working here while you're going to school, right? This is what it feels like. There's a sense of doing this so that you can have something later. And then we have angelic help. This is a time to trust in the universe and know that you will be provided for. This is a career or a blessing lining up for you, so stay positive and believe, and pay attention to the signs your angels send you during this time. Oh, hold on just a second, guys. Okay. Yeah, so I just feel like you understand that this, this is until the next thing comes up. And especially with angelic help here and freedom, this really does feel like this was something you were intuitively guided to so that you can move into whatever's next for you. So showing up and just doing the best that you can, that's exactly what you've been meant to do all along. And like I said, I feel like your boss does appreciate that. So we're going to check out your card. I'm going to read this from the book for you. We'll see the one with number 30 here. The light and the dark. It's interesting, right? You're the person that your boss has been looking for. Just someone to realize that this was never going to be something that it couldn't be. And you're cool with that. You're just very chill about that. So it says non-duality, one love, and unus mundus. And it says, it is said that Om is the primordial sound of the universe, and that all other mantras are born from it. Simply imagining the possibility will activate the one. And that's connected with Sahasrara. It says the Mundus is a circle representing the unity of existence. It is possible that the beginning and the end of all things is love. Yeah, you just bring your loving self, and that's what you do. You're just a representation of love. Says our ability to experience this archetype firsthand is limited. It comes in brief and potent moments that we are left to savor for a lifetime. The one is both the energy that unites all living beings and our capacity to sense this intimate union. This archetype eludes us most of our lives, appearing as a concept in a distant galaxy. Yet when we are in the midst of its power, a solemn reverence falls across the land. We glimpse ourselves in the vastness of all consciousness and are neither small nor large. That either or energy that I kept getting, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Within the field, we are neither important nor unimportant, right? That back and forth, the duality. All duality fades away and we are left with what is. The precious knowing that life is a gift and we are both the giver and the receiver of this fortune. So it says, when light serves, loves, accepts, and resonates. When dark ignores, omits, and excludes. To go deeper, check out James Turrell, The Color Inside, the poem The Self-Portrait by David White. Yeah, so you've let go of this, it has to be, and rather accepted that it is simply what it is. And that is giving you, oddly enough, a leg up. Not in the sense of receiving something that you can't receive, but it's giving you this leg up and understanding that this is exactly how it's gonna happen. And your boss just really appreciates that. Like, you were the one that they've been searching for, the person who just understood exactly what this meant. And everyone else has been trying to bring something else to this situation that it's not gonna go anywhere. And that's just the way it is. But ultimately, this is what I see here for you, Pile 2. I hope that this resonates. And if you felt like this was your reading, leave a little white circle down below and say, I understand that all that is all that ever will be. And I choose to live in that moment. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, please check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. And with that, I want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this message. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 10th house on it, if you were drawn to this yellow citrine, or if you're drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be your reading on what your boss hears and thinks about you. Quick disclaimer, pile number 3, it is raining like a beast here and I have to keep recording, so I do have my mic on, but I'm hoping that it's not too loud in the background. But if you hear a lot of shh kind of noise, it is because I literally live under a tin roof and it's something that I can't control. So just keeping that in mind, and you may hear the thunder because thunderstorms here are next level and they are so loud. So just letting you know right off the bat. But let me grab the other dice here. What I'm going to do with the dice today is actually get an energy read for you. So we're going to see where you're at energetically when it comes to your work. And then we're going to go ahead and delve into the other topics with the tarot. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So source for pile number 3. What is pile number 3 energy at work currently? What is pile number 3's energy at work currently? What would you like to share with us, source? What is pile number 3's energy at work currently? Okay, so we've got the 9th house, we've got Virgo energy, and we've got Mars. Okay, allowing yourself to learn as much as you can here. That's what this really feels like. You're learning, whether that's topics to do with your job or whether that is skills that you can bring to work, or if that is, you know, being able to just learn from experience and hands-on energy here. Your energy currently is just putting in as much effort as you can to learning what you can about your job. So this might be something that you really see as a long-term success, right? This is something that will give you what you want long-term. This is something that will allow you to experience the things that you want to in life. And we see here with the Virgo energy that you're very patient, so you know that this is not, I have to learn as much as I can within a month or within 2 months. This is something that as long as you continue to show up and put in the effort, you're going to gain the experience that you really want when it comes to this position. And as with the Mars energy here, we see that you're very much willing to do what it takes. There is no, I'm just going to half do my job. I'm really going to put forth the best effort and my best foot that I can when it comes to this position. So this is something that you're very, very, very clear on, and you want to experience something here with this job that you're at, or this career, or this position that you're holding. There's wanting to move up the ranks, wanting to gain leadership here, wanting to be seen as the wise, smart, intelligent individual that you are. And that comes from putting forth the effort to gain the knowledge that you need. So let's go ahead and see what the tarot has to say. Ooh. Alright, so I'm going to be using the Tarot Marseille today to find out what your boss is hearing about you, and then we're going to be using the Osho Zen to find out what they think about you. So source for pile number 3, what does pile number 3's boss hear about pile number 3? What does pile number 3's boss hear about pile number 3 source? What does pile number 3's boss hear about pile number 3? What would you like to share with us today, source? What does pile number 3's boss hear about pile number 3? Alright, source, what does pile number 3's boss hear about pile number 3? What would you like to share with us today? Oh, okay, yeah. So we have the 8 of Wands in the reverse coming out right away. That you're nervous. Let's see what else that says. So what does pile number 3's boss hear about pile number 3, source? What does pile number 3's boss hear about pile number 3, source? Oh, okay. I'm going to use this as a clarifying card. Okay. On the bottom, we have the 5 of Wands in the upright. Okay. A lot of action energy here, which I'm not surprised because we've got Mars energy out as well with the dice. So we've got Sagittarius and Leo and Aries energy out today. That could be you have one of these signs highly aspect in your chart, or that your Mars falls in one of these signs. You have gained clarity or balance after having gone through something that was very difficult, after having experienced something that was very hard. And in that, you've learned that you can overcome whatever it is that you need as long as you put your best foot forward. But I feel like people are hearing right now, or your boss is hearing right now, the fact that you might be nervous, yes, but that you've overcome something that no one thought you were going to. Okay, let's get these all out. I want to see the bigger picture here. Temperance in reverse and the 3 of... Okay. So what your boss is hearing is that you're having a hard time setting solid boundaries. That's why you're nervous here. Like, you are going to overcome this, and I feel like that's why the 5 of Wands is here. Yeah, okay, with the Queen of Cups. Yeah, you're definitely going to overcome this. This could be another person. You know, that's what we've got through this whole reading. There's been another person that's been definitely bad-mouthing my collective for whatever reason. And again, we just have to take that with a grain of salt as we move into these readings, because it's not the truth of who you are. You are the only person that knows the truth of who you are. And so remember that as we move forward in this. But there's someone here that is saying that, or your boss is hearing that you're not very good at setting emotional boundaries. Like you might talk a lot about your home life at work, or you might share a lot about yourself, or people are thinking that you're sharing a lot about yourself, that you're very unbalanced, and that you keep taking steps backwards, right? Like you're not ever moving forward in your life. But we see here with your energy that you are moving forward with your life. Like you're making a difference and you're doing the best that you can. So while other people are going to the bar and trying to have fun and trying to get the next best thing, you're putting forth the best effort for yourself to make sure that you experience what it is that you want to experience in your life. And this is something that your boss is hearing, that you're not putting forth the type of work that needs to be put forth. And like I said, if a boss is believing everyone else over you, like that's definitely a clear indication of whether or not, you know, that's the kind of job that you need to have in your life at this time. Is it just saying, you know, when people believe only one side of the story and they're not recognizing that there is two sides of the story, then that's the thing. But we do see here, like, there's emotional preoccupation with oneself, pushing others away who might come to help. So people are feeling like they're trying to offer you an extended hand. People are trying to help. People are trying to reach out to you to ensure that you're successful. And you're very much staying to yourself here. And so the boss is hearing that you're not receiving help from others. The boss is hearing that you're not taking the helping hand from the people who are offering that. And that somehow is affecting you in all areas of your life and your work, that you're not moving forward with your work right now. And this feels like very frustrating, because I feel like you've seen this happen, or you've heard about this through the grapevine, and you've been really frustrated. Like, that's not even the truth at all. I've been working really hard to learn as much as I can to become the best of the best. And isn't it funny? It's like when people don't realize the amount of work that you're putting on behind the scenes, like they don't realize what happens when suddenly you get promoted or when you moved up, because they're like thinking that you're not doing anything. And it's interesting, I watched this video the other day. It was just, they're really positive videos, and there was this girl who was an overweight dancer, and she goes in and she's trying out for this team that's a really famous team where she's at, and you know, there's this other girl in there who just automatically believes that she's going to get it because she feels like no one's better than her. And this is that type of energy that's coming in. But anyways, she's going, and one of the ladies on the team, she tells the lady that's overweight, she's like, hey, don't give up. Don't let this other woman, you know, knock you down, because she was really cruel to that lady. She's really cruel to her. And, you know, she's like, don't let her make you give it up. If this is what you want to do, then go for it. And she's like, yeah, but maybe I'm just not meant for it. Maybe I'm not, you know, like, look at you guys. All of you guys are really fit and I'm not. And she's like, hey, let me tell you something. When I first started, I was overweight too. And she's like, what? You mean that? And she's like, yeah. So she's telling her story, and that inspired her. And she's like, when everyone else went home, I stayed to work. When everyone else was sleeping in, I came in early. And this is exactly what the lady started doing. Like, she started coming in super early when no one was there. And she would go through the classes and she would stay, and then she would practice long after everyone left. Well, at the end of it, she ended up getting the dance position. And that lady that was so cruel to her was like, what do you mean? I'm a way better dancer than her. Like, I can't believe that you gave it to her. And what they were trying to impress was that the reason we gave it to her was because she proved that she was willing to put in the effort. She was willing to put in the work. And I feel like that's exactly what's happening with you, is like, you're willing to put in the effort. You're willing to put in the work. And it's going on behind closed doors. And so no one sees it right now, and they feel like you're not putting in any effort. Or even if people do see it, like, you're showing up early and they're seeing that, they're not thinking anything of it. They're like, oh, okay, whatever, you know, pile three's here early, whatever, you know. But they really believe that there's nothing to what it is that you're doing, and they don't think that you're going to get recognized for it. But let's see what your boss thinks about you. So far, it's been really good energies with the bosses this time around. Sometimes when I do these ones, the bosses are kind of like, I don't know about this. It does look like the boss recognizes and sees and thinks that you are tuning in and that you're trying to go with the flow right now. And you're not really worried about what everyone else is thinking, right? You're not trying to control the situation. You're not trying to defend yourself right now, because at the end of the day, success is your defense. And believing that is how you move forward. This could be a traveling opportunity too. That's something that's coming in, and I know that's not going to resonate with everybody. We have so much Sagittarius energy coming in with the 9th house as well. This could be something that is a traveling opportunity, long distance, right? To get a job overseas or something like that, a position you really wanted. So for pile number 3 source, how does pile number 3's boss think of them? What do they think? Yeah, experiencing. You're gaining very clear experience here, right? You're using that to your advantage, and you're very much focused on what you can grow, what you can do. And so your boss is thinking that you're gaining very, very good experience here, moving forward with that. And they trust that that's going to bring a lot of success to your position or to this company. Okay, so you could deal with some really high-end clients as well. That's coming in. So source, what does pile number 3's boss think of them? Yeah, you're the change. You're the face of change. You could be a Sagittarius or have Sagittarius highly aspect in your chart, but you're the face of change, right? Like, you're going to be the one that helps bring this into a very fortunate time in the company. And I feel like your boss is thinking that as well, that going with you and allowing you to grow in the way that you're growing is what's going to change the industry for the better. This isn't going to be something that you're fighting. This isn't going to be something that they have to fight you on. There's going to be a lot of collaboration here, and your boss is thinking that you're the best option for what's coming next. And I do feel like there is a promotion in the works here. That's why you're working so hard, is because you're up for a promotion, but you have to go against other people in the company or even other people outside. But you're doing the best to gain as much experience and knowledge as you can so that you can receive that. And your boss is thinking that you're a very hard worker, very diligent. Yeah, you've changed. Something about you has shifted. So there was once where maybe you weren't putting in as much effort as you are now, but that's changed and you're gaining some strength. Powers of observation are very, very, very clear here too. Like, you're observing the way people are working. And you know that it might take a while to get there, but you're willing to put in the effort and the work. Yeah, creativity with the Empress. Very clear energy here. You have some very creative ideas. Your boss thinks that you're someone who's very innovative, very powerful, very creative, has the ability to switch things up in the industry for the better. And I feel like your boss is thinking like you are reaching for the highest position. Like, you want to go beyond what you even believed was possible. And your boss wants to see that happen. I feel like your boss is very much behind that. Or there's at least a boss here, because you might have multiple bosses as well. I'm hearing a board. So there is someone here who's advocating for you. Even if there's a grapevine that's going around saying that you're not really doing very much, or that you're not succeeding, or that you're always taking steps back. But there is someone here who's very much advocating for you. And it's because they really believe that you're going to change the face of the industry. Yeah, this is a really powerful energy. It's just a very clear message. I mean, there's not really much more I can say here. I could definitely get some more cards, but I feel like let's move on to the Oracle and see what the Oracle are going to say. So I just feel like that's what your boss is just thinking, that it would be the most beneficial is having you in that position. We have the North Node here coming out with destined to have. Yeah, exactly. I can't make that up. The North Node. This is something you're destined to experience. Like, I feel like your boss is thinking that you're destined to experience this. You're destined to be in this position. You're destined to have this position and change the face of whatever it is that you work with. Neptune, dream and transcend. You have a lot of unique ideas. And I feel like you dream a lot about what the potential of this position could bring for you in life in general. And that helps. And I do feel like a lot of people feel like your head's in the clouds, but honestly, in this industry, in the spiritual industry and in life, we should never take that as like some sort of insult. Because when we have our heads up in the clouds, it means that we're capable of dreaming. And I know everybody uses it as an insult, like, oh, you're an airhead or whatever like that. But don't look at it that way. Look at it as like a compliment. Even if they're not trying to make it a compliment, just take it as a compliment. Because like, yeah, I am someone who's creative. Yeah, I am someone who thinks outside of the box. I am someone who's unique. You know, when you switch up the game on them, they don't really know what to think. They're like, but we meant that as an insult. Well, that's good, fine, and dandy for you, because I'm not going to take it as an insult, because I don't see it that way. Alright, Source. What else would you like to say here? Thank you. Samaritan. Refine your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. And the Shadow is exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. Yeah, you are someone who, even these people who may be talking about you or gossiping about you or saying things about you, you go out of your way to help them. You go out of your way to make sure that everybody has what they need. And your boss is very, very happy about that, because it shows that you're a team player, and that stands out, especially when there's so many in your workplace that might not really be a team player, right? They're out for themselves. Unseen justice, exactly. I love this for you. We have invisible forces of fairness play around you. Align your actions with integrity to harness their power. Fairness flows through the unseen, and I feel like that's just a thing. Like, your boss sees exactly what you're capable of. Your boss sees exactly what you're doing, and it's not even about what they think anymore, because it's like, I feel like they just know that this is the direction that we're headed, is with pile 3. Awaken. A sudden realization about your life's purpose will awaken your true potential. Embrace this insight and redefine your path, right? North Node energy coming out once again. So showing that you have this potential to really live in your path of purpose. And remember, our path of purpose is what we choose it to be. It's not necessarily anything else. It's literally about what we choose it to be, and allowing ourselves to be fulfilled in that. And I feel like this is something that's gonna be fulfilling for you. We have ups and downs that flew out of the deck. It says your work has potential for both advancement and stagnation. See if there's hope, but allow yourself to move on if needed. And I feel like that's exactly what you're doing. It's like, I'm gonna use this opportunity to gain all these skills, all these abilities. And if they don't choose me, then I'm going to have all this experience to take somewhere else. But I do feel like your boss is really thinking like, no, we need to go with pile 3s. There's someone here who's definitely advocating for you. What did I say? They think you're innovative. Exactly. You will need to come up with new strategies to keep your plans in motion. Old ways are outdated. Invent, create, and test ideas. Like, that's exactly what you're doing. And if you haven't checked out the collective message in the beginning, there's a timestamp down below, and if you feel called to it, definitely check that out, because there's more resonant messages in there for you. I feel definitely the collective message resonates with all 3 piles. And also, very quickly, if you spent all 3 piles with me, you're part of the Purple Heart Club. Leave a purple heart down below and say I made it. I know what that means. I really do appreciate you spending the entire reading with me. That really means so much. It helps out the channel as well. And even if you're not a part of the Purple Heart Club, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate being able to connect with you in this way. So we have worry. I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. So you might be worried about these people, but I feel like more than anything, the people, your coworkers around you, are worried about you. Because they're worried that you're going to move up and they're going to be left behind. And if that happens, I wonder why that is, right? Like, if you don't put in the effort, you're not going to advance anywhere. And that's why they're saying there's ups and downs, right? There's potential, but there's also stagnation. So I feel like you're about to step up into a position of potential, while at the same time, they might be stepping into their stagnation. All right, let's see what we've got going on here. Investment. Ooh, I love this energy. Finances are looking good and growing, and this is a great time to invest. Set a strong foundation and you will see the fruits of your labor. Yeah, so I do feel like there's a promotion in the works for you. I do feel like things are going to be shifting for you soon. I'm not going to say when because it's going to be different for everybody, but there's definitely an energy of a shift for the positive coming up for you. We have Angel, helping those in need with no expectation of return. This is very similar to the Samaritan energy as well, right? Refine your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore and helping without expectation of return. So you're doing what's needed, not because it's going to gain you something. You're doing what's needed, and that's why your boss is like, nope, this is the person we need. The shadow is acting innocent and angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. Yeah, so I do feel like there's others around you who are trying to claim that they have more experience, they're better for the position, they have more to offer, but at the end of the day, your work ethic is going to speak for itself. Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges, so it could be very easy for you to judge these other people as well, to sit and point the finger, well, look at what they're doing, look at how they're acting, this, that, and the other. But I feel like at the end of the day, this is just a reminder not to sit in that state of judgment, that they have their own challenges that they're facing, and if they're not able to bring forth their most aligned person in this moment, that's theirs to deal with, and not for us to sit and be like, well, you should, or you could have, or would have been better if, right? Because ultimately, if they were able to show up in a higher vibration, they would have, and they're not able to right now, and so we just have to leave them to their journey. And I also feel like this is something that's pointing towards, there's been a lot of judgment towards you in this industry, whatever it is, right? This could even be you owning your own business and someone seeing your worth and wanting to invest in you as well. So take it as it resonates, right? But I do feel like this is a thing, is you've been judged a lot. You've been said that you're not good enough for it or whatever. And you're recognizing that there's a lot of people who are projecting onto you because you're making the right moves for yourself, right? You're definitely in this North Node energy. The helper, yeah, you are helping people, even if you don't realize that. And maybe that's your job. Maybe you work in the industry, the medicine industry. You don't have to. But I do feel like you're very much in this energy of helping others and assisting others, especially with the angel and the Samaritan energy here as well. We have think before you offer help. Set healthy boundaries. Set healthy time boundaries. So we have cashier, sales rep, call center, any field you're able to assist others. Make sure your goals are yours and not someone else's, right? So you're doing this for yourself. You're not doing it because everyone else wants you to, or because your boss wants you to, or anything. You're doing this because you want to, because ultimately, yes, it's going to help you, but it's going to help you get into a position where you can give your light in a way that's going to be incredibly fulfilling and serve others. So let's go ahead and take a look at this card. Yours was a little bit shorter than everyone else's, but it was very straightforward. And we're going to read this from the book and see what it says. We have the unseen. Wait, didn't we have, yeah, look, unseen justice. What? Oh my gosh, I love that synchronicity here. You're not, the things you're doing, they're unseen, right? But they're actually in the spotlight without you realizing it. Like you're feeling like, oh, I'm doing this behind closed doors. I'm not, out there in the face of the public or whatever, but it's not going unnoticed. That's for sure, right? You have this big eye, and I know not everybody will be able to see this, but there's an eye right here in the center of the card, especially if you're colorblind, and not to like poke fun, because it's not, right? I just want to mention that because not everyone's, these are little dots. And I know they do that testing for colorblindness, but there's an eye right here with the green retina, or green iris, my bad. Is that right? Your iris is your color? I don't know, whatever. It has a green eye right here. And it's like your intuition has been guiding you to do what's right for yourself. And I do feel like with the red all around it here too, just showing that there's a lot of anger and there's a lot of jealousy and a lot of hurt that's been surrounding you for a long, long time, and having to decide what's better for yourself has been a challenge. and you've had to draw away from everyone, but sources recognize the amount of effort that you put in and how easily it could have been for you to start projecting back to others as well. And you never did, right? You never did. You were really focused on doing what was right for yourself. So look at this. We have the spirit, the ancestor, and the internal. Yeah, so you're being guided by your ancestors, by source, by your guides. It says being graced by the unseen is a gift. Treat it kindly and allow yourself to be seen by external eyes. So it says guidance coming in many forms. Don't expect it to be glittery or comfortable. The spirit world speaks the truth. Sometimes it soothes and sometimes it burns. I feel like that's what I was saying. Like, it's like the boss understands that you're the direction they want to go in, but there's coworkers here who might have a problem with that. And that's okay, right? It doesn't matter. The work will speak for itself. The unseen is just as it sounds. We cannot see it, yet it sees us, watching and waiting, with wisdom both kind and instructive. We feel this presence, sense it, intuit it, and then doubt its existence. Though it rallies our attention time and time again, the energy of the unseen may come in many forms. A compelling dream, a sudden insight, a clear voice, a vision, or a message from a loved one who has passed to the other side. It is natural to fear these communications as they challenge our perception of what is real. When this card appears, your guides are near. The eternal is present. The doorway between the worlds is open. Listen, the sounds may seem as though they come from a distant land, but they call from your innermost chambers. So it says, when light, there's clairvoyance here, clairvoyant guidance, and whispers of wisdom. When dark looming energy and unwillingness to forgive. To go deeper, check out King Hamlet and the Three Fates and The Shining. Interesting. And is it The Shining that where all work and no play, makes Jack a dull boy? That's the one that was recorded in the Stanley Hotel, or it was based off the Stanley Hotel by Stephen King. Yeah. I'm from Colorado, so I know that. But yeah, so we see that clairvoyant guidance. So we do see that you're very spiritual, you're very clear. And we did have spirituality with the 9th house here. It was coming up more about like definitely learning. So maybe you are in a mystical job or something with mysticism here, and you're learning as much as you can. So maybe you're a tarot reader. You might not have a boss. Maybe you're your own boss. Right? But people are seeing you, or maybe you're someone who does Reiki or something like that, and people are seeing that you have the ability to change the direction of the industry. So trusting that and keep learning everything that you can, because that's going to be what helps you get better. Wow, this is a really strong reading. Very clear. I loved it. I had a lot of fun. I hope the rain wasn't too bad. It finally stopped. It's just it's supposed to rain all day, and rainstorms here come and go like on the drop of a dime. Never experienced rainstorms like I've had here. So with that though, pile number 3, if you felt like this was your reading, leave the little third eye emoji down below and say, by listening to the unseen, I trust that they are guiding me to get the justice I deserve in the waking realm. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, please check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. With that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very powerful message. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye.